So today, with full backing from our service chiefs, I can confirm that 6 outdated military capabilities will be taken out of service. These decisions are set to save the MOD £150 million over the next 2 years and up to £500 million over 5 years. Savings that will be retained in full in defence. And alongside this statement, Madam Deputy Speaker, I've laid a WMS to outline the detail of my decommissioning decisions. These include HMS Northumberland, a frigate with structural damage that makes her simply uneconomical to repair. 46 Watchkeeper Mark Is, a 14-year-old Army drone which technology has overtaken. HMS Albion and HMS Bulwark, landing ships both effectively retired by previous ministers but superficially kept on the books at a cost of £9 million a year. 14 Chinooks, some over 35 years old, accelerated out of service. 2 Wave-class tankers, neither of which has been to sea for years. And 17 Puma helicopters, some with over 50 years flying, will not be extended. And I recognise that these will mean a lot to many who've sailed and flown in them during their deployments around the world. They have provided a valuable capability over the years, but their work is done. We must look now to the future. And all current personnel will be redeployed or retrained. No one will be made redundant. As the First Sea Lord says about these retirements, and I quote, "The threat is changing, so we must have the self-confidence to make the changes required." And of course, Madam Deputy Speaker, be in no doubt the future for our Royal Marines and their elite force will be reinforced in the SDR. These are common sense decisions which previous governments failed to take. Decisions that will secure better value for money for the taxpayer and better outcomes for the military. Decisions which are all backed by the chiefs and taken in consultation with SDR reviewers. Allies have been informed and we have constant dialogue with NATO. These will not be the last difficult decisions I will have to make to fix the defence inheritance that we were left with. But they will help it get a grip of finances now, and they will give greater scope to renew our forces for the future as we look towards the Strategic Defence Review and to 2.5%. And I want to thank the Chiefs for their determination to work together with me on this. Third, Madam Deputy Speaker, on reform. I have to say defence reform has been of little interest to recent defence secretaries. It doesn't make headlines, it doesn't advance careers, but how defence works must change to deal with the increasing and diversifying threats. So recently, I launched the biggest reform programme in defence for 50 years, to create a stronger UK Defence Centre, to secure better value for money, better outcomes for our armed forces, and be better able to implement the Strategic Defence Review. Central to a reformed defence is our new fully fledged National Armaments Director, which recruitment is underway now. The Chief of Defence Staff will oversee a new military strategic headquarters operating from the end of 2024, where he will formally command the individual service chiefs for the first time and will be central to prioritising investment spending between the services. And the Permanent Secretary will lead a leaner department with more policy muscle and influence. These reforms will ensure faster delivery, better integration and clearer accountability across defence to make our forces fit to fight for the future. And finally, Madam Deputy Speaker, our people. This government's putting defence people at the heart of our defence plans. We inherited a Conservative crisis in military recruitment and retention. Targets missed every year for 14 years, morale at record lows. We can't fix these deep-set problems overnight, but as ministers, we're on a mission to lift military morale. We've awarded the forces the largest pay increase for over 20 years, and I can announce today that I'm introducing from April a new £30,000 retention payment for for a cohort of tri-service aircraft engineers who sign up for additional 3 years of service. This will affect and be open to around 5,000 personnel in total. And from January, a new £8,000 retention payment for Army personnel who served 4 years, supporting 4,000 personnel each year for 3 years, so 12,000 troops in total. Madam Deputy Speaker, today I've set out where we were and where we are going. We're in a new era of rising global tensions. We need a new era for UK defence. And to achieve this, the government's investing £3 billion extra next year and setting a clear path to 2.5%. Driving far-reaching reform, fixing the foundations for our armed forces to make Britain better defended, strong at home, secure abroad.